Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Football Family Feuds, and today I'll be talking Philip Coutinho because many reports are coming out, but most of them from one source, but all the English papers are reporting it as well, and it's saying that Chelsea are in advanced talks over a Philip Coutinho loan, with Barcelona wanting just £55 million to make the deal permanent. So I'll be focusing all my attention on that today. So before I get into the story, you know what to do, guys. Please like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so that you'll be notified whenever we make a video. So, Coutinho to Chelsea. I mentioned him in a video that I did a couple of days ago, and I kind of briefly touched on this story where I said that won't want him for 80 million because the price quoted at the time was 80 million. And so I said I wouldn't want to take a risk on getting him for 80 million, but I said I won't mind getting him on loan. So if this story is correct and we are negotiating a loan deal with Barcelona, then that makes perfect sense. So the story goes on that it's going to be a loan deal with an obligation to buy, so that we'll have to buy him at the end of the loan deal. And so they said 55 million, and I think it will be probably a 10 million loan deal, or 10 to 15 million pound for the loan, so bringing the total up to around about 65-70 million. So for me, that would work and it makes perfect sense. And I think a lot of people are not happy about this deal because two things really. First thing is the Sancho situation, and I mentioned Sancho before when I did a video just before Christmas and for the January window, when I did a video on Zaha, and a lot of people didn't want Zaha because they had their heart so set on buying Sancho that no other winger would do. So whenever a winger is linked to the club now and his name is not Jadon Sancho, everybody is trying to find excuses of us not buying this player. We've got to remember, guys, Sancho he has got a pick of clubs. I keep mentioning it, I keep repeating myself in every video that I make. But today, Carver Circle, or whatever his name is, from Sky TV, he's been in touch with some people close to the Sancho situation, and the latest on that deal is that Sancho has not made up his mind where he wants to go at the end of the season. So when you read where Manchester United have agreed a contract, or Chelsea are favourites to sign him or whatever, don't believe any of these, because he's still undecided. He may decide that he wants to stay at Dortmund. But a story which did come out yesterday, which was confirmed today, was that he wants to join a club who's going to be playing Champions League football. So if Manchester United are not playing in Champions League, or even if Chelsea are not playing in Champions League, then there's no chance of Sancho playing for one of those clubs. But even if we are interested in Sancho, because obviously I think we are, but Coutinho could be the fallback, because we don't want to get into a situation where we're just going after one player. In the end, we don't get that number one target, and because we haven't had other targets lined up, we end up with some rubbish player, some panic buy. So the club probably are working on 2 or 3 deals for wingers maybe, and so if the first choice doesn't come, they'll have the second choice to fall back on, or even the third choice to fall back on. And that's the way you do business in football these days. It's obvious that we need to go for another winger. I mentioned yesterday, Willian is confirmed that he's leaving. Pedro has confirmed that he's leaving. So that leaves us with only 3 wingers, obviously with the incoming of Ziyech. So we definitely do need another winger at the club. And I think actually that Coutinho kind of makes more sense than Sancho. I know a lot of people are going to be starting to throw things at the screen or turn off at this point, but hear me out and let me give you my reasons. Because I believe that if we did get Coutinho, if we have Coutinho and Ziyech, they are 2 wingers who like to come inside and cut onto their best foot. So you've got Ziyech, who likes to come in from the right, cut in on his left. Coutinho, the opposite, comes in from the left, cut in on his right. this will work excellent against these low block teams. When we're playing against the low block teams, we are crying out for people who can shoot from distance, because a lot of times when we play low block teams, we start taking panic shots, and these shots are either hitting the first man or not even troubling their players. So we've got no one in our team at the moment who consistently can bang in long range shot goals. With Ziyech on one side, with Coutinho on the other side, these two can score goals from distance, from range, and they do it on a regular basis. So having those two players playing, the low block is going to be no longer a threat. And what we have with those two, we have those two playing in that way, and then we've got Pulisic and we've got Hudson-Odoi. They both like to more hug the touchline, and they use their pace. They're a bit faster than the other two that I've mentioned. They like to get to the byline, get their crosses in, stretch defenders, stretch the play a bit. So we'll have two of one type in Coutinho and Ziyech, and two of another type in Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi. So that will give us a nice balance on both wings. And Coutinho is 27 years old, Ziyech 26, so that gives us that experience that we need. They've both played in different leagues, and so they've got that experience. We had Sancho. Sancho's another young one, so we got Hudson-Odoi, 20, Sancho will be 20, Pulisic 21. So Ziyech would be our only kind of experienced winger. We're going to be getting rid of two really experienced wingers in Willian and Pedro. So to have three inexperienced wingers in the side, maybe not such a good idea. And if you look at Sancho, I mentioned it before, when playing in the Bundesliga, that the defences are not as solid, because most teams like to attack. You don't see a lot of Bundesliga teams playing with that low block. So when Sancho doesn't have that space to operate, is he going to be as effective? We don't know, only time will tell. Look at my video I did as well of when I compared alternatives to Sancho. I didn't have Coutinho in it at the time because I don't think we were linked with him, but it wasn't a strong link. The links got stronger since I did that video. That's why I didn't include Coutinho. But the video that I did, Sancho's defence, dribbling, was the worst out of the 5 players I covered. I think I covered Zaha, Chukwueze, Leon Bailey and Boga. And Sancho came up as the worst dribbler. He's only got like 54-55% dribbling percentage. So a lot of people thinking that he's going to be skipping past 3 or 4 players on a regular basis, then the stats do not prove that. But football's not a stats game. Sometimes stats can be deceptive. I'm going to show you a picture now. This picture, if you saw the stats for this particular player, would you want him at our club? And now if I show you these stats, totally different. Can you see what I mean now? When he was at Monaco, when he was at Juventus, not great stats. His career took off when he went to Liverpool. And sometimes football is about finding the right environment. Just because you don't succeed in one league doesn't mean that you're not going to succeed in another league. We got loads of examples of that. I mentioned in my other video, Cesc Fabregas. Arsenal, then he went to Barcelona, did okay at Barcelona, tailed off a bit, came back to Chelsea, was a revelation. Aaron Robben, he went to Real Madrid, didn't cut it at Real Madrid, played many successful years at Bayern Munich. And you could just name many players similar to that. So a lot of our fan base is a bit reactionary. They forget about all the good things that Coutinho did when he was at Liverpool, and are just concentrating on how he played for Barcelona and Bayern. Because if you look at Bayern, he's been in and out of the side, but he hasn't been bad at Bayern. If you saw that hat-trick he scored in one of their games, perfect hat-trick. 1 long-range shot, 1 improvised shot and 1 tap-in. So he scores goals, and we need a midfielder who's going to score goals for us. So I the article that I read as well went on to say that Frank Lampard feels that he can get the best out of him again and bring him back to the form that he showed at Liverpool. So if we can get him and he shows that form that he showed at Liverpool, then I'm all for it. And for 55, 60 million, that's half the price what you're getting for Sancho. And with that money can get us a quality centre back, a quality striker, and a left back as well. So we're not spending a massive outlay on one particular player and leaving ourselves short in other departments. So let me know what you think, guys. Do you think Coutinho would be a good buy? Or are you still pining for Sancho or somebody else maybe as another option? That's it, guys. I'm going to wrap things up here. And so don't forget to stay safe, guys. Keep washing your hands and keep that blue flag flying high. Until the next video, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.